Right, so the new season Row dropped, and I was gonna make a video on it because my other video on Row kind of blew up and is my greatest success in life. But I played it and it's the exact same season, other than some new skins and stuff. So, here's a bit of the game I'm playing currently. Let's start with the basics. Valorant is a 5v5 strategical first-person shooter. In this video, I'm only going to be covering the regular game modes and will completely ignore the special ones, because they're stinky. If you want to see a video on those, let me know down in the comment section. These game modes consist of 12 rounds of either attack or defense, depends on how lucky you are, and then the teams switch. First team to win 13 points wins the entire game. Both defense and attack is pretty self-explanatory. I mean, attack wants to plant the bomb. Oh, sorry, I don't want to get sued. The spike, my bad. While the defenders want to, stop them from planting the spike, or if they do plant the spike, they want to defuse it before it goes boom boom. While this might be how they want the game to be played, it mostly just ends up with a slaughter fest before anyone even gets close to a point. Valorant only has 5 maps, and each map has their own special feat. Before we get into each map specifically, I think I should explain why there are only 5 maps and why people aren't completely outraged about this. Valorant is an extremely competitive game, so even the slightest change will mess up players, and new maps take months to learn. Take, for example, Icebox. The pros were actually dodging it and not playing it for months before people just got to terms to, it being in the game. Bind is the desert map of Valorant, and its special feat are the 2 teleporters on each bomb site. This is a community favorite, and is best for Omen, Cypher, Phoenix, Jett, Raze, Yoru, Sova. Almost anyone, to be honest. Split is, in my opinion, one of the better maps, because of its simple angles that are easy to calculate. Its special feat is that there are 6 vertical zip lines, and how crucial having control over mid is. Your best picks for this map are probably Omen, Yoru, Sage, Raze, Reyna, Cypher, Killjoy. Heaven is probably the most interesting map, because it has 3 bomb sites instead of 2. If you catch a match on Heaven, you might want to try picking Sage, Jett, Cypher, Killjoy, or Omen. Ascent is the most basic map in the entire game, and is liked by many because of how big mid is. Best agents to pick for this map are probably Omen, Sova, Killjoy, Jett, Reyna, and Raze. Icebox is a bit special, and it has 2 feats, horizontal ziplines and being completely hated by every single Valorant player. And let's be fair, this hatred is kinda deserved. This map is incredibly open, so if you want to check every angle, it'll look something like this. Best agents for this map are probably Viper, Sova, Sage, Omen, and especially Jett. This map is Jett's playground, honestly. There are so many angles you can super dash, so let me just show you a clip from the Jett god himself.
Get out of here, Jeb. Oh my god. You can't get away from me.
Duelists are agents that excel in one-on-one combat, and they should always be seeking out engagements and cause enough chaos for the rest of their team to push onto a site, even if that means them dying. If you insta-lock like Jett and then you stand at the back of your team waiting for the Killjoy to push in, I hope the next time you have ketchup, you forget to shake the bottle and you get all the juice. Also, just a quick note, please don't be dumb as me and my homie Spoon and think that their symbol means that they're playing on an Xbox controller. In this video, I'm only going to be covering duelists because there's just way too many agents to record in one video. So expect a part 2, a part 3, and a part 4. But let's get into it so you know who you like to play. Jet is a free agent that you can play the second you download the game. Jet's abilities are all based around fast movement. Her free ability is a dash, well, and that's pretty self-explanatory, and it's one of her best abilities. If you want to get involved into a fight, you can just get in there, and if you don't want to get involved, let's say you take an op shot and then you just want to get out, you can just press E. Her second ability, Updraft, sends you high up in the air. This can be used to get into off angles where your enemies won't expect you, or just to fly around with a shotgun or your daggers. Her third ability lets you throw a smoke to block your enemy's sight. These smokes are extremely short, but lets you get up close and personal with your enemies without them having any idea. You can also use these smokes to make one-way doorways, so you can see your enemy's footsies, but they can't see you. Your ultimate ability lets you whip out 5 floating daggers that you can check at your enemies. You can either press left click to shoot one that deals 50 damage to the body, 150 to the head, or right click, which sends out all 5 of them. And this might sound like a weak ult, but in reality it's actually really good, because every time you get a kill, you gain all of your daggers that you used back.
Think fast, Chuckle Nuts!
Reyna is very simple. Every time you get a kill or assist, an orb appears on the body, and if you press E, you become invulnerable, and if you press Q, you heal. Her third ability lets you throw a blind through a wall. I like this one because it doesn't flash your teammate, so your whole team can push with you. Your ultimate lets you snort 4 pounds of fentanyl and lets you see your enemies easier, shoot faster, equip faster, and reload your guns faster. If you use this orb while ulted, you'll fully heal and go invisible and invulnerable for a brief period. So this is definitely a funny ult.
お前はもう死んでいる。何?
Yor is the most unique duelist, as his kit is made around making the enemy think that he's somewhere where he isn't while he's on the other side of the map. His first ability throws down a teleporter, which you can warp to in the next 30 seconds. You can either place it down or send it into the enemies like this. His second ability is a flash that works differently than any other one in the game. You throw it against a wall, and when it bounces, it activates a small countdown before exploding. His third ability is what really messes with the enemies. It creates footsteps, audible, and it also attracts boom buddies and killjoy turrets and everything basically anti-flank it attracts. It has the same pathing as the teleporter. You can send it right out of your hand or place it and activate it later. In my opinion, its best use is on bind teleporters because it makes the same sound as if a player went through, and you can bamboozle your enemies so well. Your ult makes you invulnerable and invisible unless you're right next to an enemy. So you're going to want to use it to scope out an area for your teammates, and then you can just teleport away once you know they're there. Unfortunately, I have like 3 minutes total playtime on Raze, so I don't have any really cool clips, so instead I'm going to be using Swens. Go sub to him, link in the description. He's really cool. Raze is based around fast and aggressive plays. Her first ability is a scatter grenade, and is mostly used for clearing angles, but every once in a while you can surprise an enemy and get a free kill. Her second ability is a Roomba that bounces off walls, and if it sees an enemy in front of it, it runs after it and explodes. The best way to combine these two are just to throw a Roomba and throw a well-placed grenade, and there's nothing more terrifying. It's more terrifying than a Reaper Leviathan from Subnautica. Just look at this thing. Your third ability is probably why this character is so popular. For normies, it's just a bouncy C4, but let me show you what it's capable of. Your ultimate is probably why people dislike this character so much. It lets you pull out a literal RPG that insta-kills, and with the combination of double satchels, it's incredibly strong. If you can't get at least one kill with it before you get gatted down by a firing squad, you're doing something wrong. Again, all of these clips are taken directly from Swens' channel. Definitely would recommend. He's a great guy, honestly, and he can play Raze well, so if you're trying to learn how to play Raze, definitely.
Stay out of the fire. Super high level tactic. Remember that, yeah?
Phoenix excels in getting a free frag and then healing up before the next fight. His first ability is a fireball, and well, it lights your enemies on fire, and at the same time, if you walk into it, it heals you. And for God's sake, please do not try to heal your teammates so you don't kill your friends. Your second ability is literally Wall of Fire. It doesn't do much damage, but you can use it as a healing method. If you're a pro Phoenix, you might want to use this to block enemy sights and hide your location. Your third ability is a Flashbang and travels in a curveball style. You can use this to peak angles and is a great combination with your wall. Your ultimate is really what makes this character such a viable pick if you weren't already convinced. When you use your ult, it places down a marker on the floor and you become one with the fire and start a timer on your screen. When you either die or the timer runs out, you appear back at the marker with full health. And please, make sure to put your marker somewhere safe so you don't end up like this guy.
One enemy remaining.
You didn't see that.
Thank you for watching. Hopefully you learned something new, maybe even got into the game. If you want to see a video on all the other classes, make sure to sub to, get the notification when that comes out. Hopefully it'll come in like 2 weeks, so stay tuned for that.